A Guide to Human Trafficking and How to Stay Safe. An estimated 12.3 million people are currently being trafficked worldwide. The human trafficking industry brings in an estimated $9 million each year. The second fastest growing criminal industry in the world is human trafficking. Well, now that we know all those facts about human trafficking, let's learn the definition. Human trafficking is the illegal practice of procuring or trading in human beings for the purpose of prostitution, forced labor, or other forms of exploitation, according to dictionary.com. I chose this definition of human trafficking because it shows that human trafficking is not just one thing. It can be a multitude of different situations, and you cannot categorize it based on one thing like prostitution. It also includes forced labor and many, many other things. Here are some different kinds of human trafficking. Bonded labor is when the victim borrows money from the trafficker and then has to pay it back. But while paying it back, they don't know how much they owe or how much they owe in interest because they don't have enough math skills to do that. And the human trafficker continues to take their money for as long as they want to, often for long periods of time or most of their lives. Involuntary servitude is when the victim is forced to work, even when they don't want to, and domestic servitude is when the victim is forced to work as a maid or like a housekeeper or a nanny inside a home. Prostitution is when the victim is forced into prostitution, and sadly, I heard through some of my research that sometimes victims aren't immediately noticed as victims and can be charged for prostitution even though it was against their will. Child labor is when children are forced to work, and often they won't receive any money at all for their work, and sometimes they'll be forced to go into war as well. I included this because human trafficking is an umbrella term that encompasses all of these things, and it's very important that we understand that all of the victims come from very different situations and they cannot all be treated the same based on their experiences. How you can stay safe. Make sure you know where you are at all times, or at least look like you do. If you're in a new or dangerous area, make sure somebody that you trust knows that you're there and how long you will be, just in case. Never go anywhere with someone that you just met, and if you have to, make sure you meet in a well-populated area with possibly cameras, just in case. Don't meet with people online. I know you hear this a lot, but overall, it's just not a very good idea, and if you have to, make sure you do it safely in a well-populated area with cameras, just in case. This is possibly the most important rule. If a stranger asks you for anything, make sure you hint that you have somebody waiting for you or expecting you, or you're late to something, and make sure you seem like you know where you are. Don't look like a tourist. Say you're on your way to get coffee and a stranger asks you for directions. You should tell the stranger that you have a friend waiting for you or that you're late for work, and then you should point them down the street to a 7-Eleven, maybe a couple of blocks over. That way it looks like you know where you are and like you have somebody waiting for you. This way you also are being kind to the stranger and you don't look rude. If you need directions, don't go up to a stranger. Go into a well-known store with possibly cameras in a well-populated area and ask a worker there or like the manager. It may not seem like it, but this information is very important to human traffickers. If you don't know where you are, then it's easier for them to take you, and it's less likely for the police to catch up to them if the police don't know where you were last seen. And if nobody's waiting for you, it's less time for them to call the police and report you missing. To be extra safe, you can carry a self-defense weapon, such as pepper spray. Make sure that you understand what is legal and what is not legal in your state for carrying for self-defense. And also make sure you're not bringing it into any school zones or any zones that your state does not allow for such weapons to be. You don't want to get yourself in any legal trouble when you're just trying to protect yourself. In the description of this video, I included the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Also, I included additional information. You can also find my sources at the end of this video if you want to do your own research. Thank you very much for watching all the way till the end of this video. I hope that you learned some valuable things and that you can take away things from this video that can help you in the future and to help you to understand the problem that is human trafficking. Thank you.